Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going deep on some tips for taking your English speaking skills to the next level.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. And to do that, we're going to be looking at an episode of the podcast, Leveling Up Your English with Marco and Erica. They focus on helping English learners become more fluent.
That's right. This particular episode is great because it's all about going beyond the basics.
Okay.
Once you've got the foundations down and are ready for some advanced advice.
For sure. Marco and Erica have some fun challenges and clever tips to help you refine your spoken English.
Definitely. And they start right away with vocabulary.
Which makes sense. As you improve your language skills, you'll want to be able to express yourself more precisely.
Exactly. They suggest that instead of just saying happy all the time, why not try using some more vivid synonyms like thrilled or elated?
Ooh, I like those.
Right. Choosing the perfect word to capture exactly how you feel can have a huge impact on how you come across to others.
It really can. It adds so much more color and depth to your speech.
Absolutely. And speaking of adding more to your vocabulary, Marco and Erica actually play a quick word game with their listeners during the episode.
Oh, fun. Tell me more.
Well, they challenge everyone to come up with more advanced synonyms for common words.
Oh, I love that. It's such a good way to learn.
Right. Like, for example, instead of saying important, you could say crucial or essential.
Oh, nice. What about get?
They suggested obtain or acquire for that one.
Ooh, those sound so sophisticated.
Exactly. It's such a simple exercise, but it really gets you thinking about all the different ways you can express yourself. And that active learning is so important for expanding your vocabulary.
It really is. And the best part is you can do it anywhere, anytime.
Exactly. Just think about the words you use every day and see if you can come up with some more interesting alternatives.
Love it. It's like giving your vocabulary a little upgrade.
Totally. So we've talked about vocabulary.
Right.
And to really boost your English fluency, Marco and Erica also talk about a super important grammar point,
Ooh, do tell.
the third conditional.
Ah, yes, the third conditional. It can be a bit tricky, but once you master it, well, it opens up a whole new world of expressiveness.
You're telling me. It lets you talk about those what-if situations from the past.
Exactly. Exploring how things might have turned out differently.
And Erica does a great job of breaking down the structure. It's if plus the past perfect, followed by would have and the past participle.
Like she uses the example, if I had known about the test, I would have studied harder.
See, it's all about imagining different outcomes based on past actions.
Such a useful tool for expressing regret or just generally making your spoken English more complex and interesting.
Oh, for sure. And to give another example, Erica says, if we had left earlier, we wouldn't have missed the train.
Ooh, I can definitely relate to that one. Have you ever missed a train?
Oh, countless times.
It's the worst.
But yeah, I think a lot of English learners find that once they get the hang of the third conditional, it's a real turning point in their fluency.
It really is. It allows for so much more nuance and thoughtfulness in how you speak.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've covered vocabulary and grammar so far.
Right.
But there's another important aspect of spoken English that Marco and Erica dive into.
Okay, what is it?
Conversational flow.
Ah, yes. Making your conversations sound smooth and natural. That could be a challenge for language learners sometimes.
It's true. And a big part of that is understanding the role of linking words and fillers,
Mm-hmm.
Those little words and phrases like, I mean, and basically.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes they can feel unnecessary.
Right. But they actually make a huge difference in how natural your speech sounds.
Interesting. So they're actually important.
They are. They help connect your thoughts, give you a moment to think, and just make the whole conversation flow more smoothly.
Huh. I never really thought of it that way before.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're speaking in your native language. You don't even notice that you're using these little words and phrases, but they're there.
That's true. I guess it just comes naturally.
Exactly. And Erica gives a good example during the episode. She says something like, so basically the main idea is...
I see. That basically gives her a little pause before she gets to her main point.
Right. And it just makes the whole sentence sound more conversational and less like she's reading from a textbook.
And that makes sense. I have to pay more attention to how I use those kinds of words in my own conversations.
I think it's worth it. And Marco also points out something else really interesting about fillers. They can help convey your attitude or emotions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a well-placed, can create a sense of camaraderie.
I see what you mean.
Right. And then an I mean can be used to clarify your point.
Wow. I never realized how much those little words could do.
Right. And then on top of all that, Marco talks about the importance of adding emotion and emphasis to your speech.
Ah, yes. It's not just what you say, but how you say it.
Exactly. Like instead of saying, I like this idea, you could say, I really like this idea.
Oh, that's good. Just adding a little bit of emphasis makes a big difference.
It really does. And Marco says it injects more personality and feeling into your words.
It makes it more genuine, more you.
Exactly. So it's all about thinking about not just the words themselves, but how you deliver them.
Right. Because a change in your tone of voice can totally transform the meaning of a sentence.
For sure. You can convey so much with just your voice. Enthusiasm, skepticism, humor, and pretty much any emotion you can think of.
Wow, that's amazing.
It really is. And you know what's even better? Marco and Erica don't just leave you with all this amazing information and say, good luck.
They don't. What else do they do?
They give their listeners a challenge.
Ooh, I love a good challenge. Tell me more.
They encourage their listeners to actually use all these tips in a real conversation.
Okay, I'm listening. What exactly do they have to do?
They want them to try using one new vocabulary word and one complex sentence, like with the third conditional.
So basically, put what they've learned into practice?
Exactly.
That's such a great way to step outside your comfort zone and see how much of a difference these techniques can make.
For sure. Plus, it's kind of fun to see how people respond when you start incorporating these new elements into your conversations.
It's like an experiment. I'm up for the challenge. Are you?
Absolutely. I think it's a fantastic idea. And you know what? The more you practice these things, the more natural and effortless they'll become.
Exactly. It's like anything else. Practice makes perfect. But, it's interesting. While we've been focusing on spoken English, I think these tips could actually be applied to other forms of communication, too.
Ooh, I like where you're going with this. Tell me more.
Well, I'm thinking about writing, for example. Whether it's an email, a report, or even a social media post. Using nuanced vocabulary and paying attention to tone can make a big difference.
You're totally right. It's not just about spoken English, it's about clear and effective communication in general.
Exactly. Like imagine you're writing an email and you want to express your willingness to help. Instead of saying, I'm happy to help, you could say, I'm delighted to offer my assistance.
Perfect example. That one small change makes your message sound so much more professional and warm.
Right. And we talked about the third conditional earlier. Well, that's not just for expressing regret in conversations. It can also be super useful in writing.
Oh, absolutely. You can use it to analyze situations in reports, explore hypothetical scenarios in essays, or even add some depth and intrigue to your creative writing.
So many possibilities. It's not just about sounding more sophisticated. It's about thinking more critically and expressing yourself more effectively.
You got it. And that applies to any form of communication.
It's like we've unlocked a secret level in the game of communication.
Yeah. I love that analogy. And you know, the best part is that these skills are totally transferable. Once you've developed them, you can apply them to any situation, whether you're chatting with friends, giving a presentation at work, or even writing a heartfelt letter.
It's all connected.
It really is. And what's so fascinating is that language learning is an ongoing journey, you know? It's not about reaching a certain level and then stopping. It's about always seeking ways to refine and enhance how you communicate. So true. And I think this deep dive has really opened my eyes to the fact that there's always room for improvement, no matter how advanced you are in your language skills.
Exactly. It's a continuous process of growth and discovery. There's always something new to learn, some nuance to master, some creative way to apply what you've already learned.
The possibilities are endless.
They really are. It's about embracing the challenge and finding joy in the process of constantly improving your communication skills.
Love that. And you know, in the end, the most important thing is to use your newfound skills to connect with others, share your ideas, and make a positive impact on the world around you.
Couldn't agree more. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's think about some concrete steps you can take today to start incorporating these tips into your life.
Absolutely. Maybe challenge yourself to use one new vocabulary word in your next email, or practice the third conditional in a conversation with a friend.
Exactly. The key is to make it fun and integrate these techniques into your daily routine. The more you practice, the more natural and effortless they'll become. We've explored some amazing tips from Marco and Erica's podcast today.
We have, but remember, the journey doesn't end here. There's a whole world of language out there waiting to be explored.
And with each step you take, you're opening up new avenues for expression and connection.
So keep practicing, keep experimenting, and keep pushing yourself to new heights of fluency and confidence.
I love it. And you know what else is important? Having fun along the way. Language learning should be an enjoyable experience,
Yeah.
not a chore. So find ways to make it fun for yourself.
You're so right. Watch movies, listen to music, connect with other language enthusiasts, whatever brings you joy.
Because when you enjoy the process, the learning becomes effortless and the progress is exponential.
That's the key. So go out there and embrace the world of English with confidence and enthusiasm. You'll be amazed at what you can achieve.
Absolutely. That's all for this part of our deep dive into leveling up your English speaking skills.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from nuanced vocabulary and advanced grammar to the importance of intonation and conversational flow.
But most importantly, we hope you've gained some inspiration and motivation to keep pushing yourself further on your language learning journey.
Because remember, fluency is not a destination. It's a journey of growth and discovery.
So keep exploring, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep having fun with English.
And who knows, maybe one day you'll be inspiring others with your own language learning tips and tricks.
Until then, keep those conversations flowing and those words soaring.
We'll be back soon for another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of knowledge and discovery.
Happy learning, everyone.
See you next time. It's so cool that Marco and Erica challenge their listeners like that, to actually go out and use what they've learned.
It is. It's one thing to understand a concept, but putting it into practice in real life,
Yeah.
that's where the real learning happens.
Totally. And it gets you thinking. We've been focusing a lot on spoken English here. But these tips can be applied to other forms of communication, too.
That's a great point. It's not just about speaking. It's about communicating effectively in any situation.
Exactly. So think about written English, too. Whether you're writing an email, a report, or even just a social media post.
Oh, absolutely. Using nuanced vocabulary and being mindful of your tone can make a huge difference in any kind of writing.
It really can. It's like imagine you're writing an email and you want to offer your help. Instead of saying, I'm happy to help, which is fine, you could say, I'm delighted to offer my assistance.
Ooh, I like that. It sounds much more professional and sincere.
Right. And remember the third conditional we talked about earlier?
Yeah,
Well, that's not just limited to spoken conversations either.
that's true. It can add so much depth to your writing as well.
Exactly. Like you can use it to analyze situations and reports, explore hypothetical scenarios and essays.
It's like a secret weapon for making your writing more interesting and engaging.
Totally. So it's not just about sounding smarter, it's about using language as a tool to think more critically and express yourself more effectively in all aspects of communication.
I love that. It's like leveling up your communication skills across the board.
Exactly. And the best part, these skills are totally transferable. Once you've got them down, you can use them anywhere.
For real.
Yeah.
Whether you're chatting with friends, giving a presentation at work, or even just writing a letter to someone.
It all comes back to those core principles of communication. And you know what's so cool about language learning?
Yeah.
It's a continuous journey. There's never really an end point. You're always learning and growing.
You're so right. It's not about reaching a certain level of fluency and then stopping. It's about constantly seeking ways to improve how you communicate. This deep dive has been such a great reminder that there's always room for improvement, no matter how good you think you are.
That's the beauty of it. There's always something new to discover, some nuance to master, some creative way to use the language. It keeps things interesting.
It does. It's like a never-ending adventure.
Totally. It's all about embracing the challenge, having fun, and constantly looking for ways to level up your communication skills. And, the best part is using these skills to connect with others, to share your ideas, and to make a positive impact on the world around you.
I love that. So, as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Let's think about some practical steps you can take today to start incorporating these tips into your own life.
yes, maybe challenge yourself to use a new word in your next email, or practice the third conditional in a conversation with a friend.
Exactly. Make it fun and make it a part of your daily routine.
It all comes down to practice. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. We've gotten some really great tips and techniques from Marco and Erica's podcast today.
We have, but remember, this is just the beginning. The world of language is vast.
And with every step you take, you're opening yourself up to new ways of expressing yourself and connecting with others.
So keep practicing, keep experimenting, and keep pushing yourself to reach new heights of fluency and confidence. You've got this.
You know what else is super important?
What's that?
Having fun with it. Remember, language learning shouldn't feel like a chore. It should be something you enjoy.
Absolutely. Find what works for you and makes it fun. Watch movies, listen to music, find some language partners to chat with.
Exactly. The point is to enjoy the process. When you have fun, the learning just happens naturally.
It really does. So embrace the journey, have fun with it, and you'll be amazed by how much you can achieve.
I'm ready. How about you?
I'm in. That's it for this part of our deep dive into leveling up your English speaking skills.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have from nuanced vocabulary and grammar to intonation and conversational flow.
But the biggest takeaway, we hope you feel inspired and motivated to keep pushing yourself on your language learning journey.
Because remember, fluency isn't about reaching some finish line. It's an ongoing process of growth and discovery.
So keep exploring, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep having fun with English.
Who knows, maybe someday you'll be sharing your own language learning tips and tricks with others. You'll be the expert.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would. But for now, just keep those conversations flowing and those words soaring. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of knowledge and discovery.
Happy learning, everyone.
See you next time.
It's incredible how much useful stuff they managed to pack into one episode.
I know, right? Marco and Erica really know their stuff, and they're clearly so passionate about helping people improve their English.
Yeah, their enthusiasm is really contagious.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what really struck me?
What?
How much they emphasized making language learning fun. It shouldn't feel like a chore, it should be something you actually look forward to.
100%. I totally agree. When you approach language learning with that sense of curiosity and playfulness, it opens up so many possibilities. It's less about memorizing rules and more about exploration and discovery.
Exactly. And that's what makes the whole journey so exciting. It's
Oh.
not just about reaching a certain level of fluency. It's about constantly challenging yourself, pushing those boundaries, and finding new ways to express who you are.
Absolutely. It's a journey of self-discovery as much as it is about language. And hey, who knows? Maybe someday you'll be the one sharing your own tips and tricks, inspiring others on their language learning adventures.
Wow, that would be amazing. To come full circle and help others discover the power of language.
It really would. But for now, let's focus on our own journeys. Keep practicing, keep experimenting, and keep having fun with English.
Those are words to live by. So that's it for this deep dive into leveling up your English speaking skills. We covered a lot of ground today.
We did. But remember, this is just the beginning of your language learning adventure. There's so much more to explore.
So keep practicing, keep having fun, and keep those conversations flowing. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive into a new and exciting topic. Until then, happy learning.
Bye, everyone.